what do you think really hurt her?
For her, it was a date night, and in my mind, it was not as big as a date night for her because she's traveling. ये भी नहीं मिला मेरे को, और करण भी हैप्पी नहीं है.
जो इंसान ये समझ जाता है कि मैं हैंगरी हूँ इन माई बैड डेज is not able to understand or tell me that he's hungry.
Yo guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Happily Whatever After. आज के एपिसोड में बहुत ही ज़्यादा मज़ा आने वाला है. So let's dive into it and see what happens in the real therapy session.
So Karan, I wanted to do this small segment in all our episodes with therapists where we discuss a real issue that you and I have been facing lately, and so that more and more people can see कि ऐसा नहीं है कि हम दूध के धुले हैं.
हमारे अभी भी प्रॉब्लम्स होती है.
और ऐसा नहीं है कि हमने ऐसे रिलेशनशिप निर्वाणा अचीव कर लिया कि अब तो मैं करण पे चिल्लाती ही नहीं, करण तो मुझसे लड़ाई करता ही नहीं, टाइप थिंग. So and we are still very real people, the same Karan and Shoki, who have been through with people for 1.5 years of telling their stories and their mistakes. So sharing another one of our mistakes
That
with
happened
Shridhar
yesterday
today,
night. Yes.
who can probably guide us that हमने क्या गलत किया था.
Yes.
So now that we are doing this like a therapy thing, so let's call it, आज के सेशन को एक्सप्रेस थेरेपी बोल देते हैं, ठीक है? क्योंकि
Yes, yes.
ठीक है, एक्सप्रेस थेरेपी बोल सकते हैं. So we'll try to see कि हम थोड़े टाइम में कितना डेप्थ तक पहुंच सकते हैं. So let me guide this then, ठीक है? I'll guide the session, ठीक है?
Okay.
So I'll ask a few questions and let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
So
Please.
first of all, in the जो इंसिडेंट आप बता रहे हो, who is the one person, like who was the original person who had the complaint in the incident?
I think
Who brought in the complaint?
Yeah.
You brought in the complaint? Okay. So what I'm going to ask you then is, I'm going to ask you to describe the complaint. Sorry, what we're going to do is, I'm going to take a 2-3 minutes of demo from you guys. Okay?
Yeah.
Where I want you guys to, for 3 to 4 minutes, talk between yourselves and resolve that issue without my intervention. And then I'll come in. Okay. So we can have like a comparison of what you guys talked about and then what happens in therapy. So now you please start, Shoki, and try to just resolve it on your own. And I give you a time of less than 5 minutes. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Karan, yesterday I was it all started with कि दीदी खाना बनाने वाली दीदी नहीं आने वाली थी. So I thought that ठीक है, शाम को हम लोग बाहर जाएंगे because we had to do grocery shopping, और बाहर जाएंगे तो date night हो जाएगी, you know, by the way type. And so I had this expectation that when we are going out, it will be a date night.
Yeah.
And the moment we came, we met each other, you picked me up, we went grocery shopping and all, you were very, very quiet. And I kept trying over and over कि क्या हुआ, how was your day, something bad happened in office or whatever, and you did not say anything. You were just like, it's okay, no, it's okay. Your 2-word, 3-word answers you gave me. And then once we reached the restaurant, it was a silent dinner. You didn't even say a word to me. And in my mind, I kept trying to justify it, that it's okay, maybe he's having a bad day. But at a certain point of time, I realized that why do I have to be so understanding all the time? Why can't you also sometimes see that I'm asking you for talk or connection or any kind of communication, right? And I asked it multiple times, in a good way, in a fun way, in a serious way, but you were not saying anything. We had a silent dinner. By the time we went back into the car to come back home, I found you laughing and saying that, oh, I was just hangry. And that made me feel so bad that I really felt like, am I stupid here, that I spent 1.5 hours trying to get you to say something, and after, when I am now that sada hua version that you were has transferred to me, you are laughing and saying that you were just hangry. So it really made me feel like कि मैं पागल हूँ क्या यहाँ पे बैठी हूँ जो. So and after which, for the first time, I'm a hollow tin chest, you know that, but I cried.
Yeah.
So I felt really bad, and I didn't know what to say to you also anymore, because I was just asking for some attention, some connection, and it never happened throughout. And I think what also happens, like when you behave like this, it takes me back to when you used to actually have mental health issues and not talk.
Okay.
So I feel bad.
Okay.
So can you tell me that were you really actually just hangry?
Yes.
Oh,
So you want me to
Yeah. Now your natural response to her, which was probably last night, you can continue. Like,
so
what is your actual response to her?
my
Yeah.
actual response, I discussed and I told her sorry before going to sleep. I told her sorry that I made you cry, you know, and frankly, talking about it, Shoki, is that I know that this situation has made you feel bad and it has also taken back to my old patterns. But again, let me put it very simply that yes, I'm not saying that you know I have done everything right. It is a mistake from my side and I really accept my mistakes. I'm going to take care of it uh next time. Probably, it has evolved over a certain period of time. Yesterday was obviously a different thing.
mm,
uh it happened that probably, I'm not sure how it happened. I might have not taken into consideration your efforts that you were putting and you were happy. And there were certain things that I also missed on you messaged me something on WhatsApp regarding your movie launch and I did not appreciate at that point of time. That was my work that did not let me do it. And then slowly and steadily the day passed by and मेरे को पता नहीं चला कि मैंने दिन में लंच ही नहीं किया था, and it just went by. I think the situation was such that everything you know fell into the place for someone else and we both started fighting. I'm not again taking into consideration that because of other people this situation has happened. I'm going to keep that in mind, that things do not go again backhand, and I'm trying and I'm still ready to work on it. And I am again, once again, sorry to make you cry. That is the worst thing that always happens, and I will always say that that is the last thing that I will always make you do. And I keep up to that promise, that my intention was not to make you cry. My intention was to make you happy. But it was unfortunate, or it was a bad day probably for me, uh, looking at you cry at the end of the day, and I'm really sorry. So
Okay, so I'm going to come in now. I
yes.
see some disconnects here, and let me just point them out.
yeah.
So the thing is, by the way, Shoki, you did a very good job of describing your problem. Let me appreciate that because you
Thank you.
mostly focused on your feelings and the situation. And the
Mm,
format that we obviously use is that I feel this about that. So you
mm,
stuck to that format pretty much. Ki
mm,
this is all that happened, and I felt bad. I cried. I this, and it reminded me
mm,
of that pattern, my feelings. So
mm,
so kudos to that. So I think, Karan, what you missed out on, first the part was you still have to give her a full understanding of what was actually the problem, because I am right now, what she got angry about, the fact that you said I'm hangry, right?
Hmm.
So it's you should not be sorry for the fact that she cried, because crying is technically just an extension of her emotions. You should be only sorry for the part where you felt that I violated a certain principle or a certain good thing which I should have done.
Hmm.
And that has to be laid out very, very clearly. Because if you don't lay that out very clearly, it doesn't give her confidence if it's going to happen again or not. Because she can cry again,
Hmm.
she can get upset again. But if we are looking for, let's say, actual behavioral change, that
Hmm.
behavioral change must be laid out very quickly. What specifically? And this
Hmm.
is where specifics matter most, because good intentions are assumed, you both love each other is assumed, you both care about each other's crying is assumed, and we know that these generals will be there. But now when it comes to conflicts, specific. So let's get into a little bit of specific.
mm.
Now, Karan, according to you, what do you think really hurt her?
I think what hurt her was two things. One was that I was in office yesterday.
Mhm.
She messaged me something and I could not reply to according to her expectations, because generally I do it. Probably I was busy in my mind yesterday. Obviously there was brain fog yesterday, तो मैंने उतना ज़्यादा reply नहीं किया, and I was working at that point of time. And then probably when we came in the evening, she wanted to go out and do the grocery shopping. And for her, it was a date night. And in my mind, it was not as big as a date night for her because she's traveling. I misunderstood her that, okay, probably she's going next week for 10-15 days and she will not be there with me. She wanted to have those good moments with me so that we both make up for this 10-15 days because she will be gone and we both will miss each other. So that is her way of looking at things. And I was not into that zone. And I carried forward the whole, you can say, hangry mode in the end. And that made her sad.
But you still have the question, why though? So this is where so when you said hangry, which is where she kind of, that was her breaking point. Why did that affect her? So I want you to summarize her position, and if you can't, then we'll ask her. Okay, but first I'm going to give you the chance.
So I think she was trying to ask me and she was trying to pinpoint that ki Karan, tell me what is it? Karan, tell me what is it? She was trying to give me all the attention. She was trying to figure out that what is wrong with me. And she was more worried that is Karan again going back to the same patterns that was happening into her head. She was worrying about me and I was not even considering that there is a huge amount of consideration that she's taking care of me, she's worrying about me, and I was very much ignorant about her. I did not even realize that she has gone to that extent of me going back to my old times. That probably has taken her back because of no reason. Her mental load has shifted back to that reason, that because of no reason she's gone back to the old days. It's only because of me. If I would have communicated probably, then she would have been better, she would have understood better, she would have taken into consideration that, okay, you know uh, let's give her some time. Today might be the not be the right time, let's see how things flow. If I would have told her in the initial, my mistake is that I did not express my feelings to her, I did not communicate her clearly, I did not told her what I am going through. I just kept silent. So if I would have communicated better and been a little more open about what she's trying to say, things would have been better.
And good summary, and I will ask her to confirm it. But one final point, that hangry comment, what about that was, what indicated that to her? Like when you said that, okay, I'm just hangry, that was like your summary explanation, which kind of at that point she lost it. So
So
why do you think?
मेरे को भी
Yeah.
बाद में realize हुआ that I did not realize. Frankly, I did not realize in the whole of the day. It was just that after having good meal, we were coming back from the drive wherever the restaurant was, and obviously one more thing which probably might have scaled her up because she's a foodie, and the favorite place where we went to have the date night, which was Burgmeister, that was shut. So that was also
Hmm.
one of the things that might have made her reach to that level, that कि यार ये भी नहीं मिला मेरे
Hmm.
को और करण भी happy नहीं है. So that everything, now you see that there are multiple factors associated to crying and bringing back to that
Hmm.
situation for
So
it.
now I'm going to ask her now. So Shoki, now tell us very specifically, why was that line sort of the breaking point for you? What did that mean to you? Uh, what did that indicate for you?
Mm, it really made me feel like कि इतना इतना जो इंसान ये समझ जाता है कि मैं हैंगरी हूँ in my bad days is not able to understand or tell me that he's hungry, and hence my date or my that time with him has been just compromised. Like it's just gone 1.5 hours
So you
without
were
any word.
wishing, so to understand, you were wishing that if he had that understanding thoda sa pehle time se, this
I
date could
would
have been
have,
saved.
yeah, and I would have understood that okay, he's hungry, so let's tackle with that situation quickly. Probably we would have grabbed a snack before grocery shopping. Things would have been better, or something like that. But what happened in that 1.5 hours of his silence was that all the other small issues started creeping in, and
Hmm.
I was overwhelmed by it because he didn't acknowledge the movie. My movie is getting re-released next week,
Hmm.
so I was excited about it, and he didn't show as much reaction to it. So I felt like okay, he's busy right now, so maybe we'll do it together in the evening, and that didn't happen. Then the other issue was that no, the burger place being shut was not a problem.
Okay, ठीक है. I'm just
I
assuming.
still had
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
food.
yeah. So see, this is now what I do want to point out is that ये वाला जो part है ये often skip हो जाता है.
Hmm.
Truly understand कि मेरे पर्सपेक्टिव में स्पेसिफिकली किस
Yeah.
बात पे
Yeah.
फीलिंग हर्ट हुई. तो
Correct.
अभी जो शोकी ने बताया, मेरे को भी शोकी ने जब पहले बताया, even it was not very clear to me कि वो वाला particular line, what did that signify for her, right? And now she explains it. Now even I got it. Probably Karan, you also have now a clearer picture
Yeah.
कि उसका मतलब ये था कि यार ये इतनी सी प्रॉब्लम थी, उसके लिए हमने पूरी इवनिंग खराब कर दी.
Correct.
हम पहले बता देता तो यार हम we could have such a great night, right?
My mind
So
would have not gone
yeah,
into
gone
overhauling
into all of
also.
Yeah.
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 so
Yeah.
so अब यहाँ पर क्या है, now that so but the good thing that Karan that you did was overall your approach was not defensive.
Yeah.
But the mistake was you knew I'm taking responsibility, but not sure what am I taking responsibility for. That's why sorry must always come after you can confirm कि okay, this is what I missed out on. So if I ask you, Karan, a question, if you could summarize in one line, what do you think you missed out on in the last interaction, which you can change?
I think I should have described that what were my feelings and why am I sorry for. That is what I missed in the first conversations. I just
No, in the original incident, I meant. In the original incident.
I think I original incident सब मेरी गलती जो हुई थी. You want me to pinpoint what was where was I wrong? I was the सब कुछ होने के बावजूद when Shoki was low and her face was sad, she was going through, I still tried to poke her and make her laugh, and I would have probably not done that. मेरी वो एक बहुत बड़ी मिस्टेक थी. That कि I was trying to make her laugh कि चलना ठीक है ना, sorry हो गया ना, अब छोड़ना, everything is fine. It was like now I'm not understanding her because the whole evening she was understanding me, she was keeping quiet, but when my time came in, I have to make her okay because मैं अभी okay हो गया हूँ ना. That was very selfish of me.
Although I would say कि technically trying to make her laugh is not a bad thing, by the way. It is part of repair. But if that's the only thing, then it's just not enough. The idea is you have to have the deeper conversation, but also you can try to make your partner laugh in that process, and that's absolutely fine. So you trying to make her laugh is one of the positives only. It's just that it's not enough for the situation, right?
Correct.
Now what I'm gonna do is see, because it's a couple and it's always I pretty much always assume, unless it's a clear-cut crime or something, it's improvement on both sides. So even in this incident, I'll quickly suggest a couple of things because it's express therapy. Otherwise, I would have
Yes.
kind of
Yeah,
gotten
please,
more,
yeah.
right? So ultimately, as you listen to the whole thing, this seems more like an issue of communication between both of you, where Shoki is in a different mindset, you are in a different mindset from the day itself and from the evening and from what's everything is happening, and also ongoing immediate communication where you're not exactly immediately clarifying, right? So so I'll actually this time I'm going to start with Shoki. Next time a similar situation, try to be more and more upfront about your expectations. So see, for me, it's a date night. You say that or more clearly, right? Say in that moment, if you're feeling you're being silent, address it right away. I have a feeling you're being silent. What do you think is happening? Because instead of you waiting for him to tell you he's hangry at the end of the day, you can just prompt that question quicker. Because sometimes your partner is not good at immediately talking about their emotions. You seem pretty silent today. You ignored my question. You didn't pay attention. Is there anything happening? Are you busy with something? Is there something going on? Sometimes you can prompt that. So more questions will get you answers much, much quicker, right? So that is something that you could do. And for Shoki, for Karan, Karan, for you, you have to, as a general rule, we always say that this cognitive shift is important, that when you are with your partner, I mean, it's important, it's your responsibility to kind of shift your attention and be present. And in case you can't be present, it's also your responsibility to convey them कि, okay, we are here, but I'm not fully present, my mind is somewhere else, and try to address that first. So your partner is in on it कि I am busy, I am such and such. Otherwise, the default assumption here is I'm going to be present with you, right? If I'm with you, attention is to you, to this conversation. I'm going to talk, I'm going to listen, right? And also, another thing is that once you realize that she's breaking, let's say at the end of it, she's really frustrated, the better idea would be to, instead of immediately again going to sorry and apologizing, first fully understand a few questions. Why? Ask a few whys. Okay, why does that affect you? Why does it affect you? And
Hmm.
then connect it to specific behaviors. So my whole goal here in this express therapy was that how can I point out very specific things
Hmm.
that you guys can do differently next time you're in a similar situation,
Yeah.
so that you can just avoid that. And technically, if you use this philosophy, if we solve this one problem in depth, we have completely taken off one problematic pattern from our lives, and that's
Hmm.
a much improvement,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
Definitely.
yes,
So going
definitely.
into one depth is important. One pattern is really important that way.
Yeah.
So this is my quick suggestion and
Very
for
good.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much,
much. Thank you.
Shridhar,
It
for
helps.
I
It
yeah, it
helps.
did. It did
It did
help.
help because
Because we had still not had a conversation
the,
about it. It till in the morning also Karan said you want to talk about it, and I was just so dejected about this whole hangry thing that I was like, "Ki chhod na abhi, kya hai? I'll get over it." Type. So
Hmm.
it's a good thing that we spoke about
spoke
it.
about it. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, just to get now, this is the time where I get therapy for my feedback for my therapy. So, what I
Hmm.
want to know from you is, in this conversation, first, you guys tried this on your own,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like a little bit. So, Shoki, uh, what was different for you? So, what I'm trying to say is that initial part, I saw that you were nodding to him when he was saying things,
Hmm.
but you were acknowledging a lot of different details later on in a much different way. So I just
Hmm.
want to understand from you, what was your before and after difference there? Like,
So earlier I thought that me taking this whole time and effort to make Karan understand will probably again make him feel like he's not good enough, or make him go into a defensive zone. So I just let it be. I didn't try to do these detailed question answer that what do you
hmm,
think you did wrong, you should have told me this before, because in the past that has happened with us,
hmm, hmm, hmm,
that when I've tried to, then I go into my critical zone for him probably in that.
hmm,
So I was just trying to be, I was just internally trying to resolve it by myself, that okay, let's
hmm,
not complicate it. But what helped for me in this situation was that you kept pushing Karan to clarify it, which probably didn't make him feel as bad as it would have if I would have pressurized him to do that.
hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. Karan, what about you?
So I think for me, what happened is obviously I try to communicate, but then I always try to say sorry first. I never try to
Hmm,
share why I am probably feeling, what are my feelings, and how am I processing those emotions, and what was happening with me also, right? Sometimes you have
hmm,
to. In generally with me it has always been because as she said that she is going through the old patterns. Probably when she would have told me I would have got like कि यार ये तो मेरे ऊपर critically analytic लेके बैठी हुई है, मेरे को फिर से वही करना पड़ेगा, and then I would always say sorry to her. So for me it was always saying sorry so that I brush it under the carpet and I later on think of it. But now what this happened is that I clarified a lot of things which gave me clarity that why I behaved a certain way with her and why she was behaving certain way behave. And another thing which happened in the overall while I was clarifying, I came to know that it was not only me, it was multiple factors involved into it. Sometimes you try to only blame yourself so harsh that you stop communicating, you stop,
hmm,
talking to your partner. But in the session, it just helped me to overall look at things rationally rather than just taking it personally, like गोली मार के मेरे को बोल रही है कि मेरी गलती. That was something really helped me out to make things better.
hmm. Well, good to hear that. And I could also, I mean, as I learned about it, as I was listening to you guys, and ultimately when I got into the depth, I realized that, uh, I mean, these are the issues where sometimes, uh, if you don't ask the right question and if you don't clarify those perspectives, you just feel, you go away feeling misunderstood. Like,
Hmm.
okay, and like pura, like they've not fully understand what I've gone through and what is the real problem. And if you don't have that feeling, then solution is also difficult. And that's where my personal, in my therapy approach, I spend a lot of time in mutual perspective taking.
Hmm.
What
Mm.
happened with you? Why? What happened with you? Why? Both understand each other, and another good benefit is when you actually talk about your own perspective, in a way, you're
Hmm.
also standing up for yourself. You're not saying that
Yeah.
I'm just a criminal, right? So,
Mm.
Karan, when you talked about ki, this is what's going on with me, in a way, you are also saying ki, I am a human who has a background
Hmm.
and I can also articulate it. And
Mm.
that's
Correct.
why in therapy sessions, if that mutual perspective taking is done really well,
Mm.
then both partners feel okay, we are understood and not condemned or judged. And now
Correct.
Right.
my context is right in front of us,
Hmm.
as
Mm.
opposed to just my mistake,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a very important thing to kind of achieve in therapy. So we were able to do that to some degree. So yeah,
Yes.
I
Yes.
guess.
And I
All
hope
right.
we were
Yeah.
able to show to our audiences
Yes.
that this is how simple and easy therapy can be.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
a good therapist such as Shridhar can really help you open up and resolve the deeper issues. Probably, like you saw that Karan and I had ऐसे चिंदी सी फाइट लग रही थी ये, है ना, सुनने में कि हैंग्री था करन और मैं सड़ गई और फिर करन सड़ गया टाइप थिंग. बट एट द एंड ऑफ इट देयर वर डीपर कम्युनिकेशन इश्यूज. अगर
Yeah.
हमने वो सेम चीजें बोल दी होती तो शायद इतना बड़ा इशू ही नहीं होता. बट ये हमें कौन समझा पाया? हमारे थेरेपिस्ट श्रीधर समझा पाए. ओके, सो इट्स एज सिंपल एज दैट. सो आर मोटो रिमेन्स दैट मोर एंड मोर पीपल आर अवेयर, गेट अवेयर ऑफ थेरेपी.
Mm.
थेरेपी से डरने की जरूरत नहीं है.
Yes.
It's not a taboo, it's not a stigma. It's something as simple as like you go to gym to keep your body healthy. It's therapy as a mental gym to
Yeah.
keep your mind
In fact, it's
and
the
relationship.
opposite. Like people feel that okay, there is a stigma. Technically, let's say they feel that they're gonna be judged by the therapist, and like, what is the opposite, right? You actually feel
Yeah.
understood. You walk like even in this conversation, if you actually get into the depth, nobody is a criminal. Nobody
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
bad
We
here.
are
Like
just
you ultimately
human.
feel, yeah, if you
Yeah.
ultimately feel understood. Ki, okay,
Mm.
my humanity is understood here, right? So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So in the same effort of bringing therapy in a easy way to people, we have also tied up with Sridhar
Mm.
to give you guys a 10% discount on relationship therapy. So for that, you can check out the description.
Yeah.
And apart from this, thank you so much, Sridhar, for giving us your time
Yeah.
and giving
Thank you
us your
guys for having me.
express
It's
therapy.
therapy. Yes. Before we end this
Yeah.
episode, Sridhar, what is that one advice that you would like to give couples or individuals or males that why should they take therapy? Because what happens? What is that one good advice? If not therapy, what is it that one message that you would like to give to our audiences?
Hmm. I think one thing that keeps it's the probably the most fundamental one is I will go back to the priority thing. So the idea is that uh, many times, especially men, in their whole design of life, the relationship doesn't always take a very high priority, and so they'll have bandwidth for everything else but the relationship. So
Hmm.
that and it translates into how much effort, how much tolerance, how much sacrifice, and how much actual time they're going to give to the partner or the relationship. So if you just understand that in the long run your health and well-being is
Hmm.
probably the most influenced by your social relationships,
Mm.
and your romantic relationship is your most important social relationship, then you just understand how crucial and fundamental
Mm.
a good marriage or this relationship is to you. So I would
Hmm.
say be selfish and prioritize your relationship, and just give it time and have that tolerance for problem solving. Sit through conflicts.
Mm.
Like, don't just run away from that. It's gonna
Yeah.
help you, just like you solve business problems, you solve relationship problems, and find whatever solution works for you. But just have that priority structure key. This relationship is gonna take this certain space in my life, and I'm gonna allocate
Hmm.
that space to it.
Hmm.
That is literally the first fundamental thing that I say, and that would be my most important advice. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sridhar, for giving us such a beautiful advice. And I think that is the key message that I have learned in my life to give priority to our relationship. And here we are, even after so much struggles, we are in with you in
Happily
whatever after.
For all the so don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel or Spotify, whichever you prefer. And thank you for giving us your time. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. You guys exist, and hence we are here for you. Thank
And-
you so much.
And please
And
do
thank
not
you
forget.
again. Yes, for all the details for contacting Shridhar and his therapy school or Shridhar Life School, you can check out the description again.
Yes, and be available for the 10% discount. Thank you
Yes.
guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shridhar. Thank you so much once
All right.
again.
Thank you.
you.